All right. I just want to give an update. Yesterday was a very interesting day. I went long calls at the short of the market. The low point of the markets. That would be the SPX. Let me get to that chart. I do have the SPX on the left here. Let's take a look. So I went long around this area. It was a support area. And I got out a bit too early. I ended up getting out right around here, and then it flew up. But it's a good thing I didn't hold them, because look what happened today. And we've been trending down, despite the economic stimulus news that should be coming soon. Yep. So overall, I'm profitable in the day. I've been trading very light. I've been staying away from the this SPX 500 index just because of the very aggressive moves that have been going on there. And I decided to take a long on crude oil. I think my cost is about $33.40. Okay, on this here, I think it's like $33.46. So long crude oil futures, based on relative strength, considering the market has been down considerably today, I think oil is holding up very well, and I'm wondering if there's going to be some news that's going to be hitting. I don't know when. I don't know if. I don't know. But we're getting a nice basing pattern here in oil. All right. It's a nice double bottom setup on the 15-minute chart. And if you're gonna move here to some of the upper time frames, there's not as much clarity. You can see earlier we did have a move there to that moving average of 33.77 area, and then we got slammed down off of that. Okay. So I'm not going to say that I'm super bullish on this, but I believe it's worth a try. I think the risk-reward ratio is good here on the crude oil. Now, we're going to need some help from stocks, some news. That's what I'm thinking here. But I believe it's ready. So, I'm giving it a try. Ugh. Been getting a lot of negative news coming out. Everything is coronavirus. Just doesn't stop. With the news, they're really blowing out this out of proportion, in my opinion. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying it's not important to keep track of what's going on, but the economy has to continue. In my opinion, this virus seems like a heavy-duty flu virus on steroids or something. I don't know. So, still getting beat up here on stocks. This is the 1-minute chart I got up. I'm going to jump to the 5-minute. This way we get a little bit less noise, but still get, the short-term picture, the very short-term picture. We're not getting above that 33.50 anymore on crude oil. That was really, for me, that was an important level. But given the fact that we keep dropping in stocks, I'm going to see if there's a some news announced today, and in the event that there is, I believe this is going to just catapult to the upside. On the flip side, if we continue to go down in stocks, I feel that we're going to maybe slowly drift in oil, but it really hasn't been the case thus far. So we've been seeing a lot of risk on, and with the risk on, we've been seeing crude oil, move. And then there was a detachment when crude oil just took a complete beating beginning of the week there, when we opened up significantly lower. As a result, we saw crude down as much as 32%. I was trading crude. It was incredible, the moves. Yep. So here we are. Let's just take a little bit here as far as what we can expect. I see if this double bottom plays out. All right. And if it does, then we have some congestion ahead over here. Let's see what the picture is like on some of these upper time frames. Hence the 1 hour. And it's a bit mixed. We're just having that sideways action here. One way or another, we're going to see a nice move. And then we jump to the 4, and we're seeing a bit momentum slowing, but price action has slowed with the momentum. So I don't see divergence there. Yeah, I'm going to just keep the 5 up. Let me just type this in here.
WHO's Tedros now says that countries should put in place both containment and mitigation measures, but containment should be the major pillar. Hearing reports now that France's President Macron will address the nation tomorrow and could announce restrictions in movement, according to Le Monde. 10-year now pushing up now 0.8227% here.
And the American people know, unlike Donald Trump, that climate change is an existential threat to our country and the planet, and that we need to transform our energy system away from fossil fuel to energy efficiency and sustainable energy. And the American people also know that we need fundamental transformation of a broken and racist criminal justice system, as well as a cruel immigration system that keeps millions of people living in fear. But it is not just the ideological debate that our progressive movement is winning. We are winning the generational debate. While Joe Biden continues to do very well with older Americans, especially those people over 65, our campaign continues to win the vast majority of the votes of younger people. And I am talking about people not just in their 20s, but in their 30s and their 40s. The younger generations of this country continue in very strong numbers to support our campaign. Today, I say to the Democratic establishment, in order to win in the future, you need to win the voters who represent the future of our country, and you must speak to the issues of concern to them. You cannot simply be satisfied by winning the votes of people who are older. While our campaign has won the ideological debate, we are losing the debate over electability. I cannot tell you how many people our campaign has spoken to who have said, and I quote, "I like what your campaign stands for. I agree with what your campaign stands for, but I'm going to vote for Joe Biden because I think Joe is the best candidate to defeat Donald Trump." End of quote. We have heard that statement all over this country. Needless to say, I strongly disagree with that assertion. But that is what millions of Democrats and independents today believe. On Sunday, I very much look forward to the debate in Arizona with my friend Joe Biden. And let me be very frank as to the questions that I will be asking Joe. Joe, What are you going to do for the 500,000 people who go bankrupt in our country because of medically related debt? And what are you going to do for the working people of this country and small business people who are paying on average 20% of their incomes for health care? Joe, what are you going to do to end the absurdity of the United States of America being the only major country on earth where health care is not a human right? Are you really going to veto a Medicare for all bill if it is passed in Congress? Joe, how are you going to respond to the scientists who tell us we have 7 or 8 years remaining to transform our energy system before irreparable harm takes place to this planet because of the ravages of climate change? Joe, at a time when most young people need a higher education to make it into the middle class, what are you going to do to make sure that all of our people can go to college or trade school regardless of their income? And what are you going to do about the millions of people who are struggling with outrageous levels of student debt? Joe, at a time when we have more people in jail than communist China, a nation 4 times our size, what are you going to do to end mass incarceration and a racist criminal justice system? And what are you going to do to end the terror that millions of undocumented people experience right now because of our broken and inhumane immigration system? Joe, what are you going to do about the fact that we have the highest rate of childhood poverty of almost any major country on earth, and are living with the fact that 500,000 people tonight are homeless and 18 million families are spending half of their income to put a roof over their heads? Joe, importantly, what are you going to do to end the absurdity of billionaires buying elections and the 3 wealthiest people in America owning more wealth than the bottom half of our people? So let me conclude the way I began. Donald Trump must be defeated, and I will do everything in my power to make that happen. On Sunday night, in the first one-on-one debate of this campaign, the American people will have the opportunity to see which candidate is best positioned to accomplish that goal. Thank you all very much.
Senator, why do you think you lost Michigan? Senator, do you need to do better with black voters?
Cruise line industry now proposes a plan to the White House that would bar people age 70 and older from boarding ships without a doctor's note. That's CCL, NCLH, and RCL. Once again, cruise line industry proposing a plan to the White House that would bar people age 70 and older from boarding ships without a doctor's note.
Searching for music for your next video? Then you need to check out Artlist. With amazing new music added daily and one
All right, we want to welcome Street Inc. He's come back from having a membership all the way back in 2010 and 2011.
Clean Harbor.
He is now a lifetime
Harbor's
member of
getting
Day
a
Trading
copy
Radio.
on
Thank you,
volume,
Street Inc.
5504.
Setting you up right now, bud.
Now, I will say this about
Down about
Expeditors, because
7% for the day.
that was one of my last projects with Mercyland. They are the world's largest freight forwarder. So they were part of the list of 50 customers that I was supposed to bring on to electronic communications with our internal systems. So they've been around for quite some time, but I don't know how safe the dividend is right there. So that's interesting, FRT.
Welcome
Okay.
back, Street Inc. I
Seattle,
just sent you
King County
the
Health
sent you the
Officer
email there.
expects a
Come on in,
large
say hi in the chat room if you can.
a serious
You got any
coronavirus
experience
outbreak
with
in
it, Reed?
weeks.
Or Cactus? I see it's a REIT, and I'm kind of surprised that it would come up on that dividend aristocrat thing, because I wouldn't have thought that would have qualified, because they're mandated to spend that stuff out. But, I was going to say they make more than their dividend that pays $1 at 2.82%. And right now they're back down to about where their October 2017 price was. So as long as the housing market, is it commercial REIT or, oh, you know what, on that list? I think if I were to buy a REIT, I'd like to find something in the healthcare space,
S&P futures
like a hospital REIT or something like that.
350 now,
But
down 122.25.
I don't know if they've continually paid a dividend. That's not a bad thing. I didn't realize, did Hormel Foods, there was something Hormel owns. Now, I tell you what, if you wanted to buy something recession-proof, I wanted a recession-proof, but recession-resistance,
Trump
I'd
considering declaring
buy
a
Walmart.
national disaster to free up funds for coronavirus response.
You don't have to
That,
drink,
according
but you're
to
still
a
going to
source
buy food
reported by
and basics.
Reuters
And
now.
Walmart's about the only retailer that's holding its own with
Trump is
Amazon.
is declaring national disaster, coronavirus.
Yep. I put that in the room earlier.
Yeah,
He's gonna use that to release under the Stafford Act, freeing up $40 billion in immediate aid, which could be done pretty much without Congress getting in the way.
Okay. Well, what are you going to do with the aid? I mean,